Hi, my name is Kimberly Hunter, and I'm humbly asking for your support and your vote to be your county councilman for District Number 3. I was raised in California by my grandparents with a strong moral code and a strong work ethic. I learned the value of a dollar from a young age, so I know how hard it is to earn those dollars and even harder to save them. They also reminded me as I grew up it was everyone's responsibility to make the world a better place through community service. As far back as I can remember, I would join my grandma on her monthly trips to the Shriners Hospital and help out where I could. And that same moral has stuck with me my entire life. I have volunteered with many organizations, from the Red Cross to the King Center to the Booker T, where I helped during the corona outbreak. I suppose that was also part of the motivation to move to PA in 1991 after the King riots, so my kids would have a better life. My grandparents also taught me the most important job I would ever have would be to raise my children to be good, law-abiding, independent, moral adults. So I was the Girl Scout leader, room mom, t-ball, and softball coach while I also worked. I volunteered at the Albion Fair and always taught Vacation Bible School. I always knew where my kids were and who they hung out with. I enjoyed my children, but they also knew respect. They knew I was not their friend, I was mom. I'm proud to say each of my children have beautiful careers, are independent, and are wonderful, respectful adults. The days of unlocked doors, block parties, and kids playing kickball and dodgeball in the street, building forts, and drinking from the water hose. When we rode bikes and rode in the back of a pickup truck, we stayed outside because if we came inside one more time, we would have to stay in. We said the Pledge of Allegiance in school and respected all adults, or else. We hung out at Tower Records and went to the food court so we could check out the cute-looking boys. It was safe to send kids out trick-or-treating and even safer to send them to school, where they learned math, reading, and cursive writing, and most of all, respect for everyone through discipline. And had to be home by the time the street lights were on. That was the rule for every kid. I believe in God, country, and family, as almost every member of my family has served in the military in one branch or another. As far back as my great-grandfather in World War I, to my cousins and classmates who were part of Desert Storm and the invasion of Panama, to our current situations, including our poorly planned withdrawal from Afghanistan, where so many have lost limbs and lives. I'm very proud to say I'm a Blue Star mom, and my own son is defending our freedom and liberties right now in the U.S. Air Force with his two cousins. So as you can imagine, I will always vote in favor of our veterans who were there for us when we needed them the most, no questions asked. I myself have several uncles and cousins that have served as volunteer firemen. I myself have been a member of the Springfield Volunteer Fire Department Ladies Auxiliary. I have worked many times trying to help earn money and have felt the frustration of coming up short on funds after working so hard, and that was pre-COVID. I am a true believer that we need to not only support the volunteers of the fire departments, but also their families who also sacrifice much of their time. I have faith in our police and sheriff that they will make the right calls. Do I believe that there are those that are a little overzealous? Of course I do, but you need to put yourself in their shoes. With the climate of today's world, can you blame them for being a little bit more on guard? I have faith in the people of Erie that they see what is going on and they know not all politicians are bad. There's just a lot of stupid ones that need to be voted out. The people of Erie are ready for a change. They're ready for new people to take charge. They're tired of the old school always being in charge. I can't make a lot of promises because everything is always a majority vote. But I can make a few promises. I will never, ever vote for a tax increase. When we can't balance a budget at home or run out of money, we can't go to our boss and ask for more money. What do? We cut the waste. Government should be the same way. They need to cut the waste. When I get elected, I'll never lie to you. First off, you have to remember that lie. Second of all, I just don't have the energy to lie to you. I will always listen to you, even if you're not in my district, and I will always fight for you. I will never vote on anything to hurt our community college. I know how badly we need this wonderful resource, especially with the satellite campuses all being closed. I believe in small business. I love the idea of all these old school businesses coming back to Erie. I love walking into a business and everybody knowing my name and knowing exactly what I want. It's just a wonderful feeling. I will also work with our county controller to have an audit done of all departments having to do with county council, so you know where your money is being spent. And I want to know where mine's being spent also, and have those results made available to you, the taxpayer. I believe in Erie, we have a lot of good kids that get in trouble because they're just plain bored kids, that we need to invest in safe zones for these kids. More splash pads, especially on the east side and down here in Italy and on the west side. We need to have skate parks put in and programs that interest these kids. And these programs do not need to be associated with the schools. The schools are in our kids' business and in our families' business enough. We also need to enforce the current curfews and make parents pay a fine for letting their children wander at night. I just want everyone to feel safe. I also cherish the natural resources we have. And with things like Project Neptune going into place, it will not only keep the lake clean, but children and visitors can learn at the new lab they are building. We'll have a new outlet with new jobs with Project Resolve in the battery field that is growing so much. We also need to protect our game lands for hunting and invest in our parks for hiking and camping to increase the tourist trades. We need to face the facts that Erie is no longer a place of steel industry, and it's a place where we can grow in tourism. We also need to remember we are county council, and that means that we need to concentrate on the suburbs and the boroughs. We need to make sure everyone is covered. We need to vote on measures that support everyone in the county, such as broadband and updated water and sewage systems for the smaller towns. We also need to put our homeless, and especially our vets, at the top of our list and take care of the people at home before we worry about taking in more non-tax paying people that are not even citizens. I have faith in the residents of Erie. Some, if not most, want these changes too. And let me ask you this. Why is a city in China our sister city? Why would the city use our tax dollars to fly people over there so they can model Erie after a city in China? Do they want us to become communists? I don't see anyone trying to sneak into China. I will also fight for no government interference with mandates like we had during COVID. I have a real problem when we are not allowed to go to church or school, but we're allowed to go buy booze? And they wonder why crime and domestic violence went up and test scores and discipline in schools went down. How can someone represent you who doesn't understand you? My opponent will tell you I'm an uneducated lunch lady. Well, half of that is true. Yes, I was a lunch lady, and I'm proud of that. It takes a lot to do that job, both physically and mentally. At the time, I could have gotten a better job, but the hours were great, and I was off work at the same time as my grandkids, and being able to spend time with them was more important. I also love taking care of the kids in Erie. Being there to give a hug or tie a shoe or celebrate an A on a test, it was a great feeling. As for the uneducated, I'm sorry to inform her I am a graduate of Mercyhurst University right here in Erie. So I may not be as rich as her financially, but I'm richer in the best kind of ways. To this point in my life, I've had a great career in retail management, where in a male-dominated field, I broke through glass ceilings for future women to follow. I then became a CNA and worked in geriatrics for many years while attending Mercyhurst University with my youngest child, which was a wonderful gift from God. Now I'm on a new path I truly believe God has set for me to help make the changes that you, the residents of Erie and Mill Creek, want. You're not voting for me. You're voting on the seat and position. The problems we are facing are not Republican or Democrat problems. They are community problems. Who better to help you than someone who is active in the community and facing the same problems as you? who is suffering the same as you. Please, I'm imploring you, don't vote by party only. Do your research. Look at the voting records. You might be shocked. Look around. Do what's best for our future, the future of your grandchildren. Ask yourself, is your current county council person working for you? Do you even know who she is? Have you seen her voting record? No to veterans? No to volunteer fire departments? Yes to library window coverings? Is this who you really want to represent you? Please, take the time to vote. Please, if you need a ride, let us know. If you'd like a mail-in ballot, let us know, please. Remember, so many people have died and sacrificed so that you can have the freedoms and liberties that you have today. One of them being the sacred right to vote. So please, don't let anyone speak for you. Take a few minutes out of your day and make your voice heard, not just for you, but for future generations to come. Once again, my name is Kim Hunter, and I would greatly appreciate your support, and I would love to be your next county councilwoman. Thank you.